Hello, how's everybody getting on? Hope you're all alright and enjoying your bank holiday weekend. As you can see, I'm in the new studio and I must say I'm loving it. It looks absolutely fab with this new lighting stuff and the shirts in the background. Really love it. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below of this new setup. But I'm doing this video nice and early. The match preview of our up and coming game on Friday night. First leg of the playoff semi-finals against Coventry City at the Coventry Building Society Arena. It's now time, for the real Sunderland to turn up, and we've been piss fighting about now for weeks and months. We've been off the boil. We've not been turning up. We've been shite, to be honest with you. It's now time for the Sunderland side from the start of the season to now turn up and put in a performance. First of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to the response to the QPR review. There have been some fantastic comments to the rant, for want of a better word, which are contrary to some people's views on the channel. It's not what I want to do. I want us to do well, but I'll always speak as I find, and I will give praise when I feel praise is due, but I certainly won't shy away from criticising when criticising's warranted. In the last few months, this Sunderland team and this Sunderland squad have warranted plenty of criticism. But let's now have a look at our nemesis Coventry. Managed by Frank Lampards. He's done a fantastic job since he took the job in November last year. Mark Robbins was there. He went there in November 2024. They were 17th in the league. When he took over, they'd played 17, they'd won 4, drew 5, lost 8. They'd scored 22, conceded 25, had a goal difference of -3, only took 17 points. They were in 17th place. Since then, they've played 29, won 16, drew 4, lost 9, scored 42, conceded 33, got a goal difference of +9 in them 29 games. They've took 52 points and they finished in 5th. So, Lampard has done a fantastic job there. We know he was linked with us at the start of the season. Didn't quite happen. Me personally, I was a bit on the fence when he was linked. But looking back now, I wish we probably had getting him. Like I say, he's managed 31 games. He's won 16, drew 5, lost 10. Got a win percentage of 51% in them games since he took over. So, can't underestimate the job that he's done there. Yes, Coventry did have some good players and he inherited a good squad. A fair comment. But to turn that round and to get them where they are is an absolutely fantastic achievement. The last 10 games, they've won 4, drew 1, lost 5. They've scored 12, conceded 12. They've took 13 points out of a possible 30. So the last 10 games that have been a little bit inconsistent, you could say. However, in that run, they did tank us 3-0 down there. Coventry fans were telling us though that was probably their best performance of the season. Of course, it would be playing against us. But looking at that form, they're far from invincible. And we do go down there with a chance and a fighting chance of getting something. Now, top players that they have got some really good players that I would love to see at Sunderland. They've got the likes of Haji Wright, Jack Redoni, Matt Grimes, who are their top 3 rated players this season. Grimes, who they got from in January, they got him from Swansea, I think. He's been a massive factor in their change around in form. Haji Wright, their top goal scorer with 12 goals. We know he scored the hat-trick in that game down there in that 3-0 defeat. He tortured our centre-halves that day. Jack Redoni, being a great signing from Huddersfield. He's got 9 goals this season, and Victor Torp has also chipped in with 6. Now, assists as well. So not only has Redoni, scored 9 goals this season, he's also got 12 assists to his name as well. He scored 2 goals on Saturday against Borough to secure that 5th place. Add to that, Tatsuhiro Sakamoto 6 and Ephron Mason-Clark's 5. They have got a very potent midfield. In fact, Coventry's midfield combined have 34 assists this season compared to our 17, which I did rant about in the QPR review on Saturday. If you haven't seen it, the link's on the screen now if you want to watch it. But I will warn you, it's got plenty of swear There's plenty of swear words and plenty of language in it, so I do apologise for that. But it was a rant and emotions were running high. But that is a very, very important midfield that Coventry have. Now, injuries and suspensions. I do think Efron, Mason, Clark and Victor Torp are both injured. They missed the game against Borough on Saturday. But any Coventry fans who are watching, in particular David Newell, who's a member of this channel or subscriber of this channel, let me know what your current injury situation is. You know, are you got players out? Have you got players suspended? But based on the research I've done, I can only see them two players who could possibly be out on Friday night. So Coventry, you know, they've got exactly what they wanted. They secured 5th place on Saturday. They're now playing a team bottom of the championship form table in us. They'll have been wanting to play us. They will be expecting an easy ride to the final. How do we stop them? Can we stop them? So, you know, despite the wheels well and truly falling off for us since Christmas, we have had a fantastic season. You know, there's no getting away from it. You know, Regis Le Bris has done one hell of a job. Since he took over, you know, he's managed 48 games, won 21, drew 13, lost 14, scored 59, conceded 48, got a goal difference of plus 11 and got a win percentage of nearly 44%. You know, and we are, like I say, we have had a good season. We've had the best start to a season over in 99 years, the first league double over Middlesbrough in 63 years, unbeaten at home for 6 months. Average age of the squad, the youngest in the league, only 23. The most championship points in a season since 2006-2007. And we know we secured the top 6 place with 5 games to spare. However, that is impressive, yes, and like I've said, Regis Le Bris has done an amazing job. And yes, we've overachieved massively to where we expected to be. However, on the flip side of that, and why, you know, fans are up in arms, including me, we had a shocking transfer January window. You know, I've ranted about this in previous videos that the chance of automatics for me was there to be taken. It was there in our own hands, and we didn't capitalise on that. Now that's not Le Bris's fault. I know that's Speakman's fault, and you know, the owners for not backing him in the transfer window. But Le Bris is also getting criticised for never making subs when he does. They're too late, or they are baffling at times. Some of the players that he takes off and puts on a strange ones, to say the least. Squad rotation, never rotates the team as much as he should, and when he does, it's the wrong players that are left out and the wrong players that were coming in. The form since Christmas that we've had has been absolutely shite. Played 23, won 9, drew 6, lost 8, scored 25, conceded 26. It's only 33 points out of a possible 69. We've only scored 4 goals in the last 12 games and only took 1 point from the last 18. Now, like I say, that's why fans like me are up in arms and are not happy. But we have to try and forget all that now and put that to bed, because all that matters now is Friday night and Tuesday night. We know that we've got some excellent players in the squad who have proved on the day that they can do it, and were doing it at the early part of the season. Trey Hume, you know, our player of the season and players player of the season, had a fantastic season both for club and country. Chris Mepham showed his Premiership quality since he arrived on one from Bournemouth this season. Wilton Isidore scored some excellent goals, especially in the early part of the season. Eliza Mienda had a great season as well, scored our goal of the season against Bristol City just the other week. Job, you know, again early part of the season and before his ankle injury was great and was having a great season. Romain Mundle was flying, massively stepped up to the plate and replaced Jack Clark. However, injuries has kind of wrecked his season a little bit. But, you know, we now need these players to step up to the plate in these next 2 games, and I think my personal opinion is we need a change on Friday night. Well, now we've become far too predictable to play against. We've suddenly, this playing from the back lock is not working. I think if we try and do it on Friday night, we'll get tortured. You know, Coventry love to press high, and I think if we try and play out from the back on Friday night, we'll get punished like we did at Coventry in that 3-0 defeat. Lately, we've created absolutely nought in terms of chances in these last 5 games. And I think for that reason, I think I'd be tempted to switch to a back 3. Now, I know I'm probably going to get pelted and slated for that, but I do think we just need to do something different and do something that Coventry won't be expecting us to do. And based on that, this is the team that I would play on Friday night. I'd have Anthony Patterson in goal. I'd have a back 3 of Dan Ballard, Chris Mepham, Luke O'Nien. I'd have Trey Hume and Dennis Certain as wing backs. In the middle, I'd have Alan Brown, Dan Neil, with Enzo Lafayette in the number 10, with Wilson Isidore and Eliza Mienda up front. Now, I'd bring Ballard in the defence alongside O'Nien and Mepham, just to try and combat the physicality of Ellis Sims and Haji Wright. Dennis Certain and Hume as wing backs, like I said, that offer us more going forward than I think Roberts and Watson do. Hume's got 3 goals and 6 assists this season. Certain's got 3 goals and 2 assists as well. And I do think that Dennis Certain is better going forward than what he is defending. I'd also bring Alan Brown in, like I've said, for Job, for his experience. He can also get around the pitch a little bit more. And like I've said, I don't think that Job has recovered from that ankle injury as much as we think he have. I think he has. Play Lafayette in his proper position in that number 10 and see if he can create some chances and start, you know, getting some creativity into the side. And then Mienda in for Roberts to play up front as a top 2 alongside Isidore. You know, we know Isidore and Mienda can play together, as they did prove in that win against Sheffield United against the Stadium Light at the start of the season. So let's just try something different. You know, surprise Coventry, give them something to think about. However, I know it's highly unlikely we're going to do that, because we're going to probably go into the game with the same team, the same tactics and the same formation. But that's just my personal opinion of how I would go on Friday night. Now, submit your team lineups in the predictions below, in the comments below. You know, what's your thoughts on how we should approach the game? Would you keep the same team? Would you change it, like I've said there? What would you do? What would your lineup be against Coventry? Head to head now, you know, we know we've got this terrible record at Coventry. We've not won there since 1985, 40 years ago. You know, when Len Ashurst was in charge, likes of Gary Bennett and Barry Venison were playing. I will give you a bonus point if you can name the goal scorer that day when we won 1-0 in 1985. If you can name that goal scorer without Googling it, you'll have done very, very well. But like I say, since our record down there is abysmal. We've played 21 games, won 2, drew 7, lost 12, scored 17, conceded 36. We've only took 13 points down there. It's an awful place to go to for us. But Friday night is what a time to put that right. You know, records are there to be broken. We did it at West Brom not so long ago. You know, we had a half record down there, went down there and put the record straight. So Friday night is a massive chance and a massive opportunity for us to go in there and get a result. Now, score predictions, I really do have a bad feeling about Friday night. You know, if we go into the game with them, like I said, with them same tactics and same formations, I think we'll get found out. I think it'll play straight into Coventry's hands. I just hope we can come away with, you know, some kind of result that'll keep the second leg alive. We did get a 0-0 draw down there in 2023, and a similar type of result will do me just fine, you know. So I'm going to try and stay positive. I'm going to go for a score prediction of Coventry 1, Sunderland 1, and leave it all to play for in the second leg. I don't know whether that's me heart ruling me head a little bit. Like I say, I do fear a defeat if we go in there with these tactics. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. You know, what do you think we're going to do? Do you think we can go down there and get a result? Or are we going to go down there and get an absolute tanking and a battering? Which I probably think will be most fans' mindsets based on the comments that I've seen on the channel from the previous videos. But we know the 2,800 fans that's gone down there, You'll sing your hearts out, win, lose or draw like you always do. And let's hope the lads can give you a performance to be proud of. And let's just go down there and dig it and get a result. But Coventry fans, if you are watching this, what's your thoughts ahead of the game? How are you feeling? Are you think it's going to be a walkover? Are you expecting us to give you a better game? Do you think that we've just been conning people for these last 5-6 games and we're going to suddenly turn up and put in a performance? But let me know what your thoughts are on how you are feeling ahead of the game. But if you don't mind, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. We're only 221 subs away from that magic 4,000. So if you can, smash that little black button. It's costing out, it's free, and I'll be over the moon. I'll be buzzing if you can be a subscriber to try and grow the channel to be bigger and better, hopefully be a Premier League channel next season. Just a final note to say that John Ruddock won the shirt competition for the new shirt for next season. So John Ruddock, well done to you and well deserved for your score predictions this season. I will be doing a table update and an update after these two massive games, but I just wanted to concentrate on these two games first, in the playoffs, to see if we can get to Wembley and see if we can get back to the Premier League. I know there's been a lot of doom and gloom around lately, none more so than from me. I am trying to stay positive. We've got to go in there and just hope we can get a result. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Watch out for the match review after the game on Friday night, where I'm hoping it's not another rant and I'm hoping it's not another game full of bad language, another video full of bad language. But we'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, try and enjoy the rest of your bank holiday, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll speak soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Ta-ra.